Hey, what's up guys, it's Noah here, back with another Pokemon video. Today we're just going to be using the same team. I just want to try out a couple more different modes with this team. Haven't used it too much. I played one game in between these two recordings. There's actually quite a bit of time though, like almost a day between these recordings. But yeah, same team, Life Orb Kartana. It's okay. I'm thinking about changing it to Focus Sash though, because it just does enough damage already. And it's not bulky enough to live really much of anything, even when Dynamax. So yeah, I'm thinking about changing it to Focus Sash. But Life Orb is okay right now, I think, for what we have. And we have a pretty high ranked opponent considering we're 19,000. And it's a Colossal team, which is not ideal, because I have a really bad matchup into Colossal teams. However, I went over it in my head yesterday about what I would do if I came up against a team like this. Slowbro, not Galar, it's just regular Slowbro. It's pretty interesting. And Dragonite obviously is the Aqua Jetter on this team. What's up, Caleb? What?
Are you recording?
Yeah, why?
Captain Phasma has the best Scar Spear from the Mandalorian in The Last Jedi.
Does she?
Which means she probably killed Din Djarin.
Oh,
This is important. This is Star Wars.
Okay, so I think I have to lead a Hitmontop here to stop the Dragonite. But my guess is going to be Dragonball Coal. So I kind of want to go Tapu Fini Dusclops and make him choose. Like, do you want Trick Room up or do you want to get Scalded? And you can't KO Dusclops anyway. This looks really strong with Moltres in the back. Rotom actually looks okay as well. Hitmontop looks alright. I think Kartana has to come as like a late game Dynamax option. And I like Hitmontop here with them as well. That looks okay, I think. Because Hitmontop is good defensively, actually. Yeah, it's good defensively. Rotom doesn't look great because Rotom, it hits Rillaboom, sure, but it doesn't do great into Colossal. It doesn't do great into the support Dragapult. I guess it could burn. No, it can't even burn Incineroar. So, like, it's really only good into... I guess it's good into Dragonite as well, because it can burn Dragonite, but it's really only good into Rillaboom. Dragonite could be a problem, but I'm hoping that Kartana can kind of pull it back for us in this late game. Rillaboom and Incineroar is the lead, so no Coal to start. Let's see if the Rillaboom's... I'm pretty sure this Rillaboom's bulky. Yeah, so it'll get the Grassy Surge up after my Tapu Fini, which is, like, fine. Not too concerned about it. This is surely Grassy Glide Taunt, right? So I really want to switch in Kartana here, which sounds a bit weird, but I think it's my best play, honestly. Or I could switch in Hitmontop and play it safe. Oh, it's AV and Citrus. Yeah. Okay, so it's not banded. I think I live one, a Grassy Glide with Rillaboom, but I really don't want to risk it, and I don't know. It could be max attack Adamant. In which case I don't know if I live. Let me actually look this up. I don't know if I have time to, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Can we... Come on, Safari. You got this. My computer's a little slow. Okay. Especially when I'm recording. I think I do want to make the safe play and just switch out into Hitmontop, though. I don't know. I feel like I should maybe switch out... I'm just going to go for Scald, honestly. I'm just going to Scald Incineroar and switch out Dusclops into Hitmontop. This covers for any taunts from Incineroar, and it lowers Rillaboom's attack before it Grassy Glides me. I think I should do a solid chunk to Incineroar. I should do just over 50% with the specs. Would be my guess, especially because it's not Assault Vested. Let's actually look. Tapu Fini. Mine's specs, but it's not super bulky. Oh, actually, yeah, I go first. Oh, he doesn't Grassy Glide. Interesting. I don't quite KO Incineroar, so it does a lot more than I thought it was going to, but that's fine. What's he going for here? Knockoff. Into Tapu Fini. Interesting. So he gets rid of my specs, which isn't necessarily bad in this kind of matchup. And he does taunt into Hitmontop, so he loses both his Fake Out pressures. And I have Fake Out pressure now. The question is, does he sack his Incineroar? If he loses Incineroar here, I think I just win the game with Kartana, honestly. Even if he has some way to activate Colossal in the back, I think I can just steamroll with Kartana once this Incineroar is gone. So I really want to just Scald into it again because I do enough damage, and I kind of want to fake out the Rillaboom to stop it from Grassy Gliding. This looks really strong here. He does switch out Incineroar, which makes sense. And it is into Dragapult, which also makes sense. But without the specs gone, I can Moonblast this thing next turn. And I get to fake out the Rillaboom here. He didn't go for Grassy Glide again. If I get a burn here, that'd be really nice. But I don't think I will. Yeah, that makes sense. So, he hasn't Grassy Glide twice, which makes me think that he's maybe not going to. Huh. Do I? Yeah, I think I leave Hitmontop in here because... I don't want to get my Assault Vest knocked off, but I also don't really have anything to switch into it because I really don't want Dusclops' Eviolite to go, and I really don't want Kartana to take a hit because, like, I feel like Kartana might just go down to knock off from Rillaboom. What's Dragapult doing here, realistically? It's probably light screening, right? I kind of want to Moonblast. I could also just Max Feeny right here. That's actually not a bad idea at all. Max Starfall. Max Starfall looks really strong here. Overwrites Terrain, covers for, it covers for... Yeah, it covers for, covers for Rillaboom switching out. It covers for, like, future Grassy Glide. It covers for Incineroar switching back in. It covers for Colossal coming in. Maxing Feeny does. He doesn't switch, so that's fine. So he's probably going for Grassy Glide, which would be the best case scenario. If he goes for Grassy Glide and Light Screen here, that would be my best case scenario, I think. Because then I get Kartana in for free, and I can just start going to town with Smart Strikes and Leaf Blades and Sacred Swords. Let's see what he goes for, though. It's kind of all dependent on what he goes for. Is that Feeny Max? I don't know if that's Dynamax Candied. I'll have to check after this. It is Light Screen, which is fine. I don't know if I KO... This Dragapult's pretty bulky. I don't know if I KO through Light Screen here. I probably don't. I do, okay. Cool, is that a crit? Yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense. I didn't think I KO Dragapult from that range. That's a little lucky. Let's actually calc that real quick. Lose the specs, we'll say it's Challenge Berry or something. And Dragapult. No, that's not the one that we want. It was pretty... Yeah, the one... You turned out. Okay, that's fine. I wonder how much health this Dragapult has. I can't really get like a solid calc because I'm not exactly sure what, what the spread is. Incineroar comes back in, which is fine. He does get the Intimidate off onto Kartana, and he does have Fake Out pressure, but like I think there's no reason for me not to go into Dusclops here. Unless he brings Rillaboom back in which case that makes some sense because he can Grassy Glide me as well, but I still think even then I switch into Hitmontop to take the... Oh, Colossal comes in. Okay, fine. I'm good with that. He lost his only activation to Colossal, so I think I want to set Rain up this turn. And just say, you can Grassy... Do I want to switch in Hitmontop here? Or do I want to switch in Dusclops? Because he has no knockoff pressure, right? I think I want to switch in Dusclops here and just go for Geyser, because he has no knockoff pressure. He could taunt here, but like it should go down before it can taunt, and he has no way to activate it. Now with Dragapult gone, so I think I'm just switching Dusclops. It actually really helped. Well, I don't know if it really helped that he knocked off my specs, but it did give me the... I guess it just gave me the option in my head to Dynamax Feeny, which should always be an option, I think. He does withdraw Incineroar, which is a smart play. It should be into Rillaboom. Yeah, that makes sense. And it should... Actually, he might KO in Grassy Terrain here, but he's not Weakness Policy boosted, so he shouldn't, I don't think. He's going to G-Max his Colossal here, surely, right? Yeah, and it should be Max Overgrowth into Feeny. But I should live this. It's a little scary. Maybe I should have just gone for it turn one, but... Maybe this should have been Starfall to cover for the Rillaboom switch in. Probably should have been, actually. But I really wanted the Rain Up so to make sure I KO Colossal next turn, but I think I KO it anyway. If he flares here, that's perfect. If he flares into Dusclops, that's actually a really good turn for me. That is a really bulky Rillaboom. I'm actually going to try to do as much calcs as I can on this thing. Let's see. It probably is hitting like... What kind of speed does this Dragapult's hitting? It's probably hitting like 201, right? Something like that. It is flare into Dusclops, so that's really, really good for us. Alright, I got it at 201 speed. It's probably 252 then, right? Yeah, it's probably 252 HP and a little bit of special defense. We'll throw that much in. That's good. And then Light Screen. Let's see how much Max Tapu Fini does. Dynamax. Starfall. It still actually KOs pretty handily. It does 80 to 96% to most Dusclops, or to most Dragapult, so that makes sense. So he flares here, which makes some sense, but now I'm in a pretty good spot because I can just Starfall into the Rillaboom. And I don't want to trigger him here because he's pretty slow. I don't want to take a knockoff here. I think I switch back into Hitmontop to cover for Grassy Glide and Max Overgrowth combination. It's a bit of a slower game, this one, but I mean, against Colossal teams, that's kind of what I have to do. I kind of have to stall it out and take KOs where I can and play positionally. I gotta save Tapu Fini for when this Colossal's G-Max is over. He does Grassy Glide, that's a lot of damage. That's gotta be max attack, or he crit. No, okay, that's definitely max attack. So, let's see. Which this does. This doesn't chunk, I'll take that. And I reset the terrain, which is nice. And no more, and he doesn't get the Overgrowth boost. So this shouldn't KO me at all. This should drop me down to about 10%. Oh, it's Volcalith anyway. Okay, cool. This should do about 30% to... Oh, it's Hitmontop. Okay, perfect. Good switch for me then. Tapu Fini's in a really good spot here now. Because now I can Geyser again. I can fake out Geyser, right? It's a pretty good move. I don't even... Do I need to fake out? I do need to fake out. I could also just Brick Break. Actually, do I need the Geyser at all? Or I can't Geyser, but do I even need the Scald at all? I think I could just switch and wait for the... wait for his Dynamax to end. Because he can't really do anything to either of these Pokemon. I think I fake out into Rillaboom here. To just stop and knock off into any of my Pokemon. It doesn't give me a ton of offensive pressure going into the next turn. Which is the thing I'm most scared about. But Dusclops and Hitmontop is a pretty solid... they're a pretty solid core Pokemon to have on the field. And Hitmontop is faster than Colossal, so... I guess I have some offensive pressure going forward, but... Because I can... It's weakness policy, it makes sense. Cool, okay, cool. This is... I mean, I expected Incineroar to switch in here, but I didn't want to go for Brick Break just in case it didn't. I wanted to cover for a knockoff, so that's fine. Does Fake Out plus Brick Break KO Incineroar here? Because if it does, then, like, that's my play for sure. This is probably Volcalith, right? Or Flare. It's Quake. Okay, so that's why he wasn't Overgrowthing me. It's because he doesn't have Overgrowth. That does not do enough in the Hitmontop to do any sort of meaningful damage. So we get through Colossal's max? Is that all three? Yeah, that's all three. Flared, Volcalith, and Quaked. So we get through Colossal's max. Hitmontop now can Endeavor something down to 45 HP, that's literally like perfect because I can Endeavor Nightshade guaranteed KO everything on this team now, which is really strong. As long as I have something for Rillaboom. Do I think that Tapu Fini and Kartana can take out Rillaboom in the endgame? Probably. It's not Specs anymore though. I think Smart Strike Kartana can do it as well. Alright, well we're gonna Nightshade and Endeavor into this Colossal. He could fake out actually. That actually makes a lot of sense if he faked out and did him on top here. I definitely don't want to trigger him though. I'm gonna Nightshade into Incineroar. And I could switch actually. I like having the... Yeah, I think I'm going to switch into Kartana here. I don't think there's really any reason to keep it around. And if he doesn't switch out into Rillaboom here, then like Kartana's in a really good spot. Because I can just take KOs with Sacred Sword. If he doesn't switch out into Rillaboom here. Parting Shots. Okay. So a really good play from him. I could have just Endeavored and Nightshaded. But that's fine. I get some good damage in. This should be Heat Wave actually from Colossal, so I'm not really sure why I didn't just Endeavor and Nightshade, but this is fine. This is still okay. He's not super boosted. If he misses a Heat Wave, I think I just win the game. But he should KO Kartana here. Cool. Yeah, Kartana goes down. It's actually pretty strong. He burns Dusclops, which is not ideal. Let's see, what do I want more? Gone. I think Fini just wins in this endgame, right? So I think I want Rillaboom gone more. So I think I bring in Hitmontop. Rocks is starting to add up pretty quickly. I could just bring in Fini, honestly. How many more tons of Sun are there? That's the question. Light screen wears off, which is really nice. I wish I could check how many turns of Sun there are. I think I bring in Hitmontop here regardless. And fake out Rillaboom and Nightshade. There's no reason not to. It should pick up a KO onto either one. So the lower Hitmontop's HP gets, the like closer it gets to not being able to Endeavor stuff. But I think Nightshade and Pain Split could be a shot here, you know? Pain Split Colossal. I think Nightshade fake out makes a lot of sense. Because like I said, it should KO. Oh, no, I faked out Colossal. Actually, that's not bad. Okay, protects Colossal. That's fine. Yeah, that should have been fake out into Rillaboom every day of the week there. I don't know what I was doing. Knock off and Dusclops. Yeah. I mean, I'd misclicked. I can't really do much about that, to be honest. It's fine. Sunlight fades now, which is really good for Feeny in this endgame. I just need a little bit of chip on this Rillaboom. Just a little bit more chip and we're good. Dusclops is kind of useless now, though. Oh, Rocks. That's the Rocks. That's right. Does Hitmontop die to Rocks is the thing I'm most interested in. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, it already went. So Feeny looks really good here. He's going to switch out into Incineroar here. So I kind of want to Muddy Water. Not having the specs is, I think, might be my best, like, might be in my favor here because I can still, I can Muddy Water and then Dazzling Gleam when Rillaboom comes back in. The good thing is it can't knock off and it can't Grassy Glide with priority, so Muddy Water looks really strong here, and I want to, do I want to break the Colossal to ensure the KO? What's more likely to not take this? I'm gonna break the Rillaboom. I feel like Incineroar coming in is more likely to tank this than Colossal is to tank Muddy Water, but we'll see. If he lives the Muddy Water, I think we just lose. Or if I miss either one. So we're in a little bit of a bind here. I faked out the wrong Pokemon there, and it's gonna cost me big time. We do hit both though, which is good. See if it picks up a double KO. Doesn't quite KO Colossal, but we do KO Incineroar, which means Brick Break will be redirected into Colossal. It does get Steam Engine though, which is a bit bad for us. But I did lower the accuracy, so he could miss some Heat Waves, which is good. I think if he EP'd, okay. Yeah, that's a good play. That covers the options, I think. I thought Muddy Water would KO, personally, but it's pretty bulky Colossal, I think. Rillaboom comes in, and this should just be game over, because he can just Grassy Glide me here pretty freely. I guess he could still... no, I don't think there's really any way for me to win this. Because he's just going to go for Earth Power and Grassy Glide, and it should lock it up. But I'll Muddy Water anyway, just in case, but... this should be game one going to my opponent. Colossals are... Oh, yeah, he fakes out as well. Yeah, that makes sense. He still could miss an Earth Power, but that's just easier. Oh. Meteor Beam, okay. It's a little risky, isn't it? I guess he moves first next turn. And he gets Grassy Terrain Recovery. But I also get Grassy Terrain Recovery. He could miss Meteor Beam. If he misses Meteor... It's 90% accurate, and he has an accuracy drop. So if he misses Meteor Beam here, I could be in a really good spot. Grassy Glide's obviously going to go first, though. We'll see if we live this. I actually don't know if we do. No, we just dropped to that. Okay, that's fine. So, a bit of a rough one. Like I said, that misclick in the middle where I faked out the Colossal instead of the Rillaboom was a really, really bad play for me. If he protects there and I fake out the right Pokemon, we're in a really good spot. Because I think Rillaboom... I don't know if it goes down, but it's really close to going down. I think it's just in faint range, honestly. So, yeah. We'll play one more. That was a really long game, but I think we'll play one more just to test out the team a bit more. I do like Kartana, but I don't know. Like, I think it needs the Focus Sash to have any chance of like living anything. Yeah, I'm also considering throwing Rillaboom on there, but we'll see. I like a Grass type Pokemon, and there's not a ton of Grass types out there right now. Entei, Grimmsnarl, Moltres, Metagross, and Rotom Wash. Kartana has to come here to deal with Rotom Wash. I really don't have a Pokemon to deal with it otherwise. Do I want to lead Kartana, though, is the question. Because he does have Entei. I could lead Cortana Fini. It's not a bad option at all, actually. Cortana Fini, just go pretty hyper offensive from the start here. Looks pretty strong. I wish I had Aerial Ace on Cortana, because then I could boost it straight away. Actually, does Cortana look... I think Moltres Fini actually looks pretty strong here. Because then I don't have to worry about... he could lead Grimmsnarl and fake me out, though, which would be really bad. I like him on top Moltres here. So because then I can break the screens, I can fake out. I can Fiery Wrath, Air Slash stuff. I can Nasty Plot if I want to, if the lead is pretty in my favor, like if he leads Metagross, for example. I have to bring Cortana here, though. Do I? Yeah, I think I bring Cortana and I bring Dusclops as my last. Do I want to bring Cortana? No, I don't think I bring Cortana. I think I definitely bring Dusclops, and I bring one of Fini or Rotom. They both do kind of get hit by Rotom Wash pretty heavy, but I think the Cortana probably scares him away from Rotom Wash. I'm going to go into Rotom here. Yeah. Oh, I hope I locked in. I don't know if I did. If I didn't, Cortana, Moltres, Dusclops, Fini is actually not bad as a lead, but it's not my most consistent. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if I locked in time. Grimmsnarl Entei. Okay, that's the lead I was kind of expecting, which is why I wanted to lead what I wanted to lead, but I didn't lock in time, so this is what we got. My guess is fake out into Moltres and Sacred Fire the Cortana, or just max and hit the Cortana for big damage. I kind of want to protect, or detect, I guess. Is that silly? I feel like it can't max, right, in this position. I kind of want to max Darkness into this Entei and just go for Detect. Because then next turn... Or Airstream. Yeah, Airstream looks really strong, actually. Because then next turn I should be able to KO with Sacred Sword plus Airstream again, right? Yeah, that looks really strong, actually. And he's going to set up screens of some kind, but, like, this is a pretty strong play, I think. Especially if he fakes out Moltres. And if he doesn't fake out Moltres, I can just set up Nasty Plot, so I don't think he wants to do that. He could read into the Detect here and double into Moltres, but, like, I don't think that's the case either. Because, like, if Cortana... If you double in and Cortana just goes for Smart Strike into Grimmsnarl, then you go down, so... Cortana goes for Detect. He doesn't max Entei, which is really good, actually. Light Screen comes out, which makes sense. And it should be... If this is Sacred Fire into Cortana, this is a perfect turn one for us. Oh, it's Snarl. Okay. It's a good play. But it's also not going to keep this Cortana from just rolling his team now. Because he set up Light Screen and not Reflect. So that still does so much damage. Is that a crit? That's got to be a crit, right? Like, that's wicked. Yeah. Like, that's way too much damage. Yeah, that's kind of lucky. But we'll take it, again. I'm not complaining. Sacred Sword should KO Entei from here. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to go for, probably Dark. Do I want the Airstream boost? I probably do, right? Yeah, I'll take the Airstream boost. Does this KO Entei from here? I think it does. It's Life Orb. Yeah, surely it does, right? Surely that KOs Entei from there. And he's not maxing Entei. Okay, cool. What's he going for here on the switch in? Dusclops. Okay, good switch. Good switch. That makes sense. Yeah, so he frisks me and finds my Life Orb, but, like, that's fine. I'm not too bothered about it. I get another boost on, another speed boost, which is good. I could have doubled in and gone for Darkness there. I thought about it. That would have actually probably been the best play to cover for the Dusclops switch in, but this also covered it. It gives me a little bit of damage on the Grimmsnarl, and, it puts Cortana, again, in just a really, really good spot, I think, because now I can just pretty freely Leaf Blade Darkness into that slot. And that's going to do so much damage. I don't know if it'll KO, but it should put Dusclops in a really bad spot. Let's see what Grimmsnarl wants to do here. He switches Grimmsnarl out, which makes sense. Back into Entei. Yeah, that makes sense as well. I could have Airstreamed and KO'd Entei, but, like, there's no point here unless he's Trick Rooming. But, like, if I get a crit here, I think I just win the game. That's going to be really close to KO. It is a crit. Okay. It's going to be really close to KOing with Darkness. I think He's in light screen and I'm -1. Ah, we're just a little bit away. That's kind of brutal. I think I don't want to say we lose now, but we're not in a great spot. I'll say that. Because now you can just pain split. Yeah, I detect Cortana here for sure. He might KO me with like a max flare, but I don't think he maxes Entei in this position. Now, do I switch out my Moltres into Dusclops is the question. I think I do. Because I don't think there's anything... Like, he probably Snarls, right? Or he might go for... No, he probably Sacred Fires, actually. He's probably Sacred Firing and Pain Splitting. So I kind of want to go into my own Dusclops. I haven't really taken any damage, but he's in a really good spot here with Trick Room up. I could just Detect Protect and see what he wants to do. Because, like, I think he's in a pretty good position here. I don't think that's a bad play at all, actually. I could also Fiery Wrath, but, like, I don't think I KO Entei from that range. I'm actually going to switch out to get rid of this boost. I'm going to go into Dusclops. Because I don't want the special attack drop. And if he Pain Splits into Cortana, then I'm in a really good spot. But my guess is it's going to be Pain Split into Dusclops, which I'm okay losing HP on Dusclops. Entei Assault Vest. Okay, interesting. So that's why I didn't do too much damage. But it's also why it got, you know... I thought it was going to do about 50%. It is Pain Split into Dusclops. That makes sense. And it should be Sacred Fire. That's probably his safest play. Yeah, that makes sense. The thing is, I don't really need the speed boost on Cortana, so I'm just going to switch Cortana out into Tapu Fini here. Take a Sacred Fire. And I could just go for Trick Room, but I think I want to go for... Trick Room's not actually bad for me going up here. Because I am pretty bulky Tapu Fini. Like, Trick Room's... I'm actually okay with Trick Room being up for, like, as long as it is. And, like, the longer Trick Room goes up, like, he can't set it up in the future turns, if you know what I'm saying. So I kind of like Nightshade into Dusclops. Because we know that it's within 2, so... He probably is the same way. He probably knows, oh, his Dusclops is within 2 Nightshades, so I'm going to go for it. He might actually Sacred Fire or just double into my Dusclops here. But, like, I'm okay with that, I think. Because then next turn I can take a double KO with Muddy Water and... or just Scald and whatever I bring in to KO Dusclops. My Nightshade comes out first. I am min speed dropped. His Dusclops goes second. And he goes into my Fini. Okay. And Snarl. Alright, I rate the play. But now I can just go for Nightshade and Scald. Scald should KO Entei from here. Even at -1 Assault Vest with Light Screen. It'd be pretty close. I'm going to go for it anyway. Because he can't KO my Dusclops from here. He can Pain Split me, but like I don't think he lives this. Because I'm at 64 HP. So I don't think, even with any recovery that he makes, I don't think he's going to live this. He could Pain Split my Fini, actually. He switches Dusclops out. Okay, that makes sense. Metagross is the switch. Okay, that's fine. So this is who he's going to max, clearly, but I think I just have to preserve Moltres for a late game. That does a lot of damage. Let's see if this KOs. I don't think it does. Is that a crit? Yeah, it is again. Yeah, I'm getting pretty lucky with the crits. I mean, I am Specs Fini. I don't know how much that does. I'll have to calculate after the game. I'm assuming it's max HP, max attack Entei if it's got Assault Vest. Although it is Snarl, so I don't know. Grimmsnarl's a little annoying. I could just Scald into this thing. Let's see, what do I have in the back to switch into? He has Dusclops in the back, but it's within Nightshade range. Like, it's literally on 2 HP, so... how many turns of Trick Room are left? This is the last turn of Trick Room. So, I'm actually content... I'm content Scalding into Grimmsnarl here. And Pain Splitting the Metagross, I think. I think that puts me in a pretty good spot. I could also Haze to get rid of the drop. No, I think Pain Split from the Metagross makes more sense. That gives me a bit of HP back, and I don't think he protects Metagross. There's no reason for him to protect Metagross here. He's got to start taking KOs soon, because he's down a Pokemon, and I think he's losing the HP battle as well. So yeah, Cortana Moltres actually ended up doing alright here, to be honest, but I don't think that's a lead I want to go with very often. It just happened to be a decent one in this case because of the Pokemon that my opponent had. That heals up Dusclops a lot. I am still within 2 Nightshades, but he doesn't know that, so. Spirit Break and a Feeny, which is fine. Yeah, it's alright. There's no way I'm going to do very much damage now at all. He max Quakes anyway. Yeah, I'm literally going to do about 10 damage into this Grimmsnarl. I haven't revealed Haze yet, though, which is, like, really, really strong in this late game, because I can just Haze and Fiery Wrath this Metagross, and he's in big trouble, so. See how much Skull does. It should do about 10 damage. Solid 10 damage. Good chip from Tapu Fini there. Solid chip. He's not KOing Dusclops from here. I kind of want to go for Pain Split again into the Metagross. And I think I can't. I'm Specs locked into Scald. Let's see. Do I need Tapu Fini here? I really don't, right? Because I have Kartana to deal with Grimmsnarl and Moltres to deal with Metagross. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot here. I think I can just Scald again into the Grimmsnarl and just let this thing go down. But I do want to keep Dusclops around to Haze late game. So I'm going to Pain Split. He withdraws Grimmsnarl, which is really good. I get a KO on Dusclops. Hopefully. Maybe. It's not +1 boosted. So we'll see. This is going to do a decent amount of damage. I'm -2 and in Light Screen, but I am also Specs. We'll see how much this does. It does KO Dusclops. Nice. Let's go. I get another crit, which is kind of crazy, but we did get double crit before in one of our Rotom games. I don't know if that was the one I was recording or not in, but he KOs Fini, which is like fine by me. I'm completely okay with that. This turn I can just protect Moltres and protect Moltres and Nightshade probably, or just Pain Split again. And then he might activate my weakness policy. He has no more Light Screen either, which is really, really strong. But yeah. I could actually go into Kartana here. Yeah, Kartana's actually a really good play here, because he doesn't have Reflect Up, I don't think. He might. But I can just go for Smart Strike and Haze. And there's nothing, and then I can bring in Moltres in the late game. Because he doesn't have any speed here. So I can just Smart Strike and Haze. This should do a lot of damage, and there's no real way for him to KO Dusclops, I don't think. He goes for Light Screen again, which I guess that makes sense. That's the only way he's going to beat Moltres in the end game, but like Smart Strike should KO Grimmsnarl now. It does, which means I'm going to get a defense. No, I don't get a defense boost. I'll get an attack boost for Beast Boost, which is really strong. It's really good for us. Let's see what he goes for here. Max Quake. This should be into Kartana. If it's not, that would shock me. Yeah, that makes sense. He actually doesn't KO, and I get to go for Haze. So I get rid of my own attack boost, but I get rid of both his special defense boosts. And now it's just, I mean, I think Dusclops would win this by itself, but I have Moltres in the back as well, so I don't think there's any chance that, my opponent can pull this back. Kartana actually took that remarkably well. I think it's just the special defense side that it's pretty weak on. It's actually not that physically unbulky, but we'll go for Sacred Sword is fine, and Nightshade I think is alright as well. I don't want this thing outspeeding my Moltres, so I'm just going to... Yeah, and my opponent just forfeits. So a couple games. One was much faster than the other. That one probably would have been 2-0 or 3-0, depending on whether they KO'd Kartana or not that turn. But yeah, pretty good with the team. I like it. I'm still not sure about what to do with the Kartana slot. Whether I want a Life Orb or Focus Sash or what. But it did alright in these battles. I think... If I had faked out the Rillaboom instead of the Colossal in the first game, it would have been a much different battle. A much more different battle. So, I guess I'll continue, yeah, that's just a misclick, so I can correct that. But it wasn't a bad game by any means. And Colossal is probably my worst matchup for this team. But I think I handled it pretty well. Maxing Fini, even a Specs Fini is like, I think my only option in that kind of scenario. I didn't know it was Max Quake, so I think even then, like, if it's Max Quake, I think Maxing Fini makes a ton of sense. If it's not, I think it still makes some sense. And Maxing Fini, before he can max Colossal, also keeps it keeps Cole off the field for a long time, which is really good. Especially if I can KO Dragapult, which is what happened. I think I was in an okay spot, but then I misclicked and, you know. we can move past that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video today, leave a like, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. I hope your 2021 is going well. This should go up on the 1st, so I hope your first day of 2021 is going excellently, and that you have an amazing year. I'll see you guys.